Hello class, this is Mrs. Albritton of Albritton's math class, AMC. Now today we're going to take a look at two problems from AMDM on estimating crowd size. Let's take a look at number one. We're told that 15 people will fit in a 5 by 5 feet rectangle. Set up and solve a proportion to estimate the number of people who would fit in a rectangle that's 6 by 9 feet. All right, now we already know that in order to solve a proportion, first you've got to set it up. How is the proportion set up? Well, we've got two ratios set equal to each other. Where do we get the ratios from? Let's look back at the problem. First piece of information we're told is that 15 people, I'm gonna put this next to 15 and just put it in parentheses. This is gonna help us stay consistent with our two ratios. They fit in a 5 by 5 feet rectangle. Area, length times width, remember? 5 times 5 gives us a 25 square foot rectangle. So I'm gonna put area here. Notice we have people over area. That means when we set up our second proportion, our second ratio, we gotta have people over area also. How do we set that up? We're asked to estimate the number of people who would fit in a 6 by 9 foot rectangle. We don't know. That's where your unknown is. That's where your variable goes. So let's use X. So here we'll have X people, but we do know the area that they will fit in, a 6 by 9, which is 54 square feet. Notice our consistency, people over area, people over area. How do we solve a proportion? We cross multiply. We're gonna multiply 15 times 54 and 25 times X. So let's do that. 25 times X is 25X. This equals 15 times 54, which is 810. Now we've got a one-step equation that we need to solve and we will be done. How do we solve this one-step equation? We divide both sides of the equation by 25. Because remember, you want to isolate your variable. These will cancel. Why? Because 25 divided by 25 is 1 and 1x is x. That's why. So we're left with x here. When we divide 810 by 25, we get 32.4. But remember, we're talking about people. How many people? So let's go ahead and make that or round that to about 32 people. So I'm going to change this equal to this symbol right here that means approximately or about. So the number of people is about 32. And that is the crowd size that will fit in a 6 by 9 square foot rectangle.